I gave myself 1 year to build a full-time art career, and I actually pulled it off. If you're an artist or a creative and you're wondering if you can actually make a living from your art, the answer is yes, but probably not in the way that most artists are trying to do it. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how I built my full-time art business, what is one of the biggest unlocks for artists right now, how I diversified my income so I wasn't trading away every single hour of my life to pay my bills, exactly how I'd grow an art business if I was starting over today, and the simple math behind getting to 10K months as a creative. So let's dive in. So first, let's talk about how I actually grew my full-time art business in the first place. Because if you think it was luck, I'm gonna stop you right there. My very first business was a photography business. I had a passion for photography since high school, I studied it in college, and I interned at art galleries in Door County, Wisconsin in the summers. I absolutely loved it, and when I finally started my photography business, I had literally just 81 cents in my bank account, $60,000 in student loan debt. I had just dropped out of college and I was living in my grandmother's spare bedroom. Oh, and I had just quit my $7 an hour minimum wage gas station job. So this wasn't really a safety net situation, although very thankful that I was able to live with my grandma because those years not only helped me, but I really cherish all that time I got to spend with her. So it really worked out. So here's how I actually got my first sales. I actually went to this website called Vistaprints. I don't even know if it's still a thing. I got free business cards where you just pay for shipping. The shipping was like 50 cents. It literally drained the rest of my bank account to get these business cards. Now, I don't think you need business cards today, but I'm just sharing with you what I did, and then I'll share with you what I did today. The next thing I did was I literally started knocking on doors. So I went to different business districts in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I knocked on doors. I went to bakery, real estate, like all different types of businesses. I literally knocked on the door, walked in and was like, do you need photography of XYZ? So for the baker, I was like, do you need photography of your cakes for your website or social media? And they were like, actually we do. And I was like, well, do you want me to come back when you have a cake? And they're like, well, we actually have like cake replicas made out of styrofoam that look like cakes that aren't real cakes. So I remember I got $200 to take photos of these cakes for their website. And I did this over and over again with different small businesses in the area. And if they needed photography, I booked them on the spot. And if they didn't need photography, I left them my business card. And that is how I made enough money to actually buy food and groceries to eat in those early days, because no starving artists here, okay? But here's what I quickly realized: that wasn't really a good way to grow a business. It might be an okay way to start a business, but it wasn't a good way to have like consistent money coming in, because I had to physically go out and get every single lead and sale myself. And when I wasn't knocking on doors, I was scrolling Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and different places like Nextdoor, looking for people who actually needed, wedding photography or portrait photography, family reunion photography. I was looking to book anything I could to pay my bills. And I think that part is really important, because I think when a lot of people start their own business, art business, creative business, whatever it is, they want to start where they want to be, okay? Now, I didn't want to be a wedding photographer. I wanted to do like high-end art pieces that people would hang on their wall. I was really known in college for conceptual photography, but I knew nobody's really buying that, right? And so I knew that if I could start with something that people were easily buying, like people are getting married all the time, people are having family reunions all the time, right? Now, this wasn't the most fun work. It wasn't my end-all be-all goal, but it paid my bills. So after knocking on doors, I went looking for a better solution, and I found one, and that's when everything changed. I found out about inbound marketing so that people could actually find me to book shoots versus me having to go out and find them looking for shoots. So how I did this inbound marketing was creating content. So I started creating organic content for my business. I was showing behind the scenes of my photo shoots, talking about what I was doing, why people need to book certain sessions, all of that great stuff. And almost immediately, my business began to shift. Suddenly, I had consistent leads coming in every single week because I was putting out content consistently. People were reaching out to me to book sessions instead of me having to go find them. Within about a year, I was booked solid and consistently. And I ended up growing my photography business to multiple six figures per year, and towards the end, on average, $3,000 per photo shoot. and I ended up becoming one of the highest paid photographers in my area. Now, keep in mind, it didn't start that way. I was booking weddings for brides wearing all camo Packer memorabilia in the middle of Wisconsin for like $1,000 for a whole wedding. Like, I think I even booked a wedding. My first wedding, I think, was like $600 in a casino. And I actually loved those weddings. They were really fun. But I'm just saying, you don't always start where you envision your goal being, right? You sometimes need to do things to work up to the actual goal of your vision. So I hope if you take nothing else away from this video, I hope you take that away. Now, back when I started, the platform I used for inbound marketing was blogging and Pinterest. That is not what I would recommend today. Today, I would recommend YouTube. There's a reason I'm on YouTube and I'm not on blogging and Pinterest, because I've tested it recently. It does not work like it used to. Same reason I'm not on Facebook. Same reason I'm not on TikTok and Instagram. I did recently do a test again on TikTok and Instagram, and yeah, I won't be doing that anymore. I will be sticking to my long form YouTube videos. But yes, YouTube is exactly what's working best today. It's exactly what I would recommend for anyone who wants inbound marketing, especially artists and creatives. But long story short, I did not become a full-time artist because I was the best artist in the world. I know that I'm far from the best artist in the world, okay? But I'm good and I like what I do and I try to get better every single day, right? But the reason that I was able to go full-time is because I got good at marketing. I made content. I made it so that leads could actually find me. And if you're an artist going, that's so frustrating because, I know I'm the best artist in my area and it's annoying that artists that aren't as good as me are getting more bookings than me. That's why. That's the simple, cold, hard truth, is you need to get better at marketing. Now, here's where I want to get really specific with you. Because if you're an artist and you're not on YouTube yet, you are leaving a lot of money and opportunity on the table. And I get it. You probably didn't start your art for the money. You probably don't even care to build like a super highly profitable business or $1 million business someday, right? You just want to pay your bills and do the thing you love. And I totally freaking get that. But this is the game that you got to play. People cannot find your art if they can't find you. And that's just the way it is. But here's the part that you should be really excited about as an artist. You have an unfair advantage on YouTube because people love watching art get made. They love seeing the behind the scenes. They love watching the art come together. They love watching paintings get made. They love watching stuffed animals get crocheted. They love watching how photographers shoot behind the scenes. It's one of the most watchable types of content on social media right now. So if you're an artist, you can make content about what you're doing, why you're creating what you're creating. You can film commissions behind the scenes. You can film the behind the scenes of the workings of your business. This is not only going to bring you customers for your art, but it's also going to help you grow on social media. And when you grow on social media, it means, yes, you're getting customers to sell your art, but it also means that when you get monetized, you can start making money from YouTube AdSense. Last year, on average, I made $3,000 a month with YouTube AdSense. I had months ranging from $1,500 all the way up to $6,000 a month just for creating content on YouTube. And eventually you can start to take brand deals as well if you'd like to. So if you're an artist, maybe some kind of art supply store might reach out and want to partner with you and pay you to mention their art supplies in your video, and they might even gift you some free art supplies as well. So now I want to talk to you about why, as an artist or creative, you need to be diversifying your income. Because if you don't, you are very susceptible to burnout, or your income is probably going to be wildly inconsistent. With my photography business, in order to get to 6 figures and then eventually multiple 6 figures, I was shooting a lot of sessions, sometimes up to 10 per week. And we had way busier seasons than others, and my calendar just really controlled my life. I was also missing out on family events, family weddings, because some people would book a wedding with me like 1 or 2 years in advance. And then somebody else would invite me to their wedding, like a friend or family member, and I'd be like, I'm already contractually obligated to shoot this other wedding. So it did become a bit of a burden. Not to mention, I was driving all over the state of Wisconsin, the state of Minnesota to shoot weddings. Sometimes the bride and groom would forget to include me on the dinner list, so I wouldn't get fed. Sometimes it would be like a 16-hour day and I wouldn't even have time to go to the bathroom. Like, not a super healthy lifestyle. So even though I loved my craft, I really started to look for ways to diversify my income because I wanted to still keep doing my art. I just wanted to be able to also take less shoots and have some more downtime and not have to plan my life out 1 or 2 years in advance. And this was around the same time that Photographers started reaching out to me about coaching and workshops. So I started hosting some in-person workshops. I did some coaching, but I quickly realized like my problem is time. I don't have any more time to give. And so right around there, I found out about digital products and I thought, okay, I can take what I'm teaching in the coaching and the workshops, I can put it in a digital product and then I can sell it over and over again. I can help an unlimited number of people without trading more of my time for money. I knew that this was a much better way to scale and get back some freedom in my life. And back in the day, I diversified with blogging. But again, I would not recommend that today. Today, I would recommend YouTube. That's exactly why I'm 300 plus videos deep on YouTube. It works so well, and I cannot recommend it more highly. And because once you have a YouTube channel, suddenly you also have more sales of your art or creative services that you're trying to sell, leads coming in from YouTube, money from AdSense, money from brand deals, and money from digital products on top of all of that. So that's when I decided to add on digital products. What I did was I carved out one day a week to focus on the digital product side of my business. And then I was shooting and working on the other part of my business all those other days. And in the first 6 months, I made just under $50,000. Then the first full year, I made around $240,000. Then the next full year, I made just over $500,000 just with digital products. And so at first I was able to take a little less shoots, then it became about 50-50. And then 16 years into my photo career, I actually pivoted to what I do now, which is my business Freedom Creator, where I help creatives get to 10K plus months by teaching what they know online through YouTube and digital products. There is nothing more in this world that I love more than art and helping creatives and artists make money. I don't want you to be a starving broke artist. You certainly don't need to be. And I remember all my fellow photography students in college and even my photography teacher basically called me a sellout for going and booking like weddings and stuff instead of only showing my work in galleries. But guess what? There's no freaking way I would have paid off $60,000 in student loans, bought a house, bought a car with cash, gotten out of debt, become a net worth millionaire by 30 by showing my work in galleries only. Like, I'm sorry, we live in America, like, doesn't work. And if you can make it as an artist showing in galleries and build a real life for yourself, hat freaking off to you, okay? But for me, I knew that I would make more money. I'd still get to enjoy doing my art, and I still showed in galleries on the side, and I was able to grow on YouTube, diversify my income, and build a really enjoyable and freeing lifestyle for myself. And like I said, after 16 years with my photo business, I did close it and I moved full-time into this. But the cool thing is now I have free time. I get to do pottery on the weekends. I just did a cyanotype workshop where I live in New Mexico. It was so much fun. I get to do all of these workshops and art whenever I want to for fun on the side of what I do to get paid. And you can do it however you want to do it. If you want to get paid for your art and add on digital products, or maybe eventually you just do digital products and you do your art for fun again. I'm telling you, as a veteran of 16 years selling my art, it does become fun when you get to just do it for fun again and you don't have to sell it. But the bottom line is if you want to build a full-time art career, you gotta diversify what you're selling. It's gonna make things so much easier. It's gonna make the money coming in way more consistent. It's gonna also allow you to really throttle what you wanna do with your art career. Like if you're a painter, you can choose how many paintings you wanna make. If you're a photographer, you can choose what shoots you wanna take and what shoots you don't wanna take. And that kind of power feels great. And if you want me to walk you through my entire system step by step, from choosing your profitable digital product to launching it to automating the sales of it online, go ahead and register your completely free seat for my free training. It is linked in the description below this video. So what would I do if I started my art career over today? Well, I still liked the idea of knocking on doors and looking for shoots in the beginning because let's face it, I had 81 cents. I was renting a camera from the library. I didn't really have a lot of time and money to give, but I would immediately start growing a following on social media, specifically on YouTube. And that would have made it so much easier for me to grow my art business, but also to diversify my income so that I didn't have to kill myself trying to pay my bills, taking so many photo shoots. Then of course, when I started growing on YouTube, I would first post a TidyCal link. It's $29 one-time fee. It's just like Calendly, but way cheaper. And I would make it so that people could book paid coaching sessions with me, like 30 minutes, not because I want you to become a coach, but because you're just going to take a handful of coaching calls and you'll be able to learn what these people following you really need, so you know what type of digital product to create. Then once I was clear on the digital product that would solve the most painful problem for these people, then I would create that digital product, and then I would keep making videos. I would have links in the description of my video for my art or my creative services, and then I would have the coaching call link until I booked enough, and then I would get rid of that, and then I would have my digital product link. And you could have affiliate links too, AdSense money, brand deals. Like, there is so much opportunity when you just start doing inbound marketing and growing a following on YouTube. And if you want me to show you exactly how to grow on YouTube, how to monetize it with digital products, how to get to 10K months as a creative, go ahead and register your totally free seat for my free on-demand training. It is linked in the description below this video. Okay, so how do you actually get to 10K months as a creative? Because I'm sitting here saying diversify, but let's actually talk about the math. This, of course, depends on the type of art business that you have, but let's just run some scenarios. Let's say you're a painter and your paintings sell for $250 each. To hit 10K months, you'd have to sell 40 paintings every single month. So you'd have to paint 40 paintings, sell them, pack them, ship them. Like, that's a lot of work. Not only is that a lot of work, but then you also have to find those people to buy those paintings. Maybe you're going to markets. Maybe you are finding people online. Like, that's going to be hard to be consistent, and it's probably going to lead to burnout. So instead, what if you just had to sell 10 paintings a month? That's $2,500. Then you make the other $7,500 from your digital product. Maybe you have a membership or a course teaching people how to paint. If your digital product is $997, that's just 8 sales. 8 sales, and you create it once and you can sell it over and over and over again. That suddenly feels a lot more doable than 40 paintings, right? Plus, you'd eventually be getting AdSense money from YouTube on top of that. And you can, of course, grow your digital product sales beyond that as well. So here's what I want you to know. You can have a full-time art career. I've done it, many people have done it, and you can do it too. But it's not going to happen by hoping someone finds your work. It's going to happen because you decide to put yourself out there and grow on YouTube. Because you decide to grow a following and decide to diversify your income streams. You can do this, and it is absolutely worth it. I have been a full-time entrepreneur since I dropped out of college. I have never worked a 9-to-5. I did work a bunch of minimum wage crappy jobs, and I did work some really cool internships at art galleries, but I could never do a 9-to-5. I like to have my calendar so that I get to decide what I'm doing that day, what I'm working on, the projects that really light me up. And I want that for you too, and you absolutely can have that. And now that you know the steps that I took and the steps that I would recommend for you today to grow a full-time art career in 1 year or less, you might be thinking, okay, Molly, but how do I actually grow on YouTube to get this started? And you can do that by watching this video right here, because when you pair what you just learned with what's in this video, it's going to be way more powerful. See you in the next one.